Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and if you are new, welcome. Today's post-burn review is of Snow White from Bath & Body Works' second Disney Princess release. The listed fragrance notes are mystic red apple, ripened fruits, and enchanted woods. On cold, and even more so once burning, the most prominent note to my nose is definitely the ripened fruits. This is not a light mixed fruit blend, and it's not a bright, juicy fruit punch kind of scent. It comes off as deep, rich, and almost like a dark berry medley. Think blackberries, maybe even a hint of plum or dark currant. It has a syrupy richness that makes it feel slightly luxurious. The mystic red apple is there, but it's more in the background. I wouldn't call this a crisp tart apple fragrance. If you're expecting something fresh and sharp like a just sliced Granny Smith, that's not what this is. The apple here feels softened and blended into the darker fruits. It adds body and rounds out the scent, but it doesn't stand out on its own. It's more of a supporting note that gives the fruit blend a familiar sweetness and keeps it from being too heavy. Now, the Enchanted Woods note is interesting because I personally don't get much woodiness at all. If it's there, it's extremely subtle. There's no distinct cedar, sandalwood, or smoky forest vibe coming through for me. It doesn't have that dry, earthy backbone you sometimes get from wood notes. Instead, the fragrance stays firmly in the fruity sweet category. If anything, the enchanted aspect feels more like an atmospheric softness rather than an actual woody accord. So while this isn't a fresh tart fruity fragrance and leans on the sweet side, I wouldn't say it's candy sweet. It has a natural sweetness like ripe fruit that's just past peak freshness and starting to become richer and more concentrated. The depth is what really defines this candle for me. It feels darker and more mature than a typical spring or summer fruit scent. Something else I noticed is a subtle floral presence. It's not a distinct rose, jasmine, or peony note where you can clearly say, oh, that's floral. Instead, it feels like a soft veil over the fruit. It adds a gentle elegance and smoothness that keeps the berries from smelling too heavy or jammy. It almost gives the fragrance a slightly perfumed quality, but in a very understated way. It's blended so seamlessly that you might not immediately identify it as floral, but it adds to that enchanted fairy tale like feel. On the initial burn, my wicks burned hot with a high flame prior to being fully pulled out. I extinguished the flames, trimmed off the small mushroom tops, and relit the candle, and it burned much better. Here on the third burn, my wicks are starting to shed off into the wax pool, so while it isn't soot tarnishing the wax and fragrance, the amount of wick fibers that are shedding off will end up leading to discolored wax. Here on the fourth burn, I cleaned the wax pool by soaking up some of the wick fibers with a paper towel, and it's doing better, so hopefully it stays that way. Just like Mulan, this candle is a mid-range performer. However, in a large open space, I feel this candle has a bit more reach than Mulan, so I rate the strength at a 6 to 6.5 with a throw of a 7 out of 10. In my bedroom, it's a solid 7.5 out of 10. I don't go easily nose blind to it. It's present while I'm in the room with it lit. The scent starts to project prior to being fully pulled out, and the fragrance lingers nicely after the flames are extinguished. Overall, Snow White is a rich, sweet, dark, fruity fragrance with a smooth and elegant character. The ripened fruits are the clear star, the apple provides background sweetness, the woods are very subtle or barely noticeable, and there's a soft floral undertone that adds depth and refinement. This is a great option if you enjoy deep berry forward scents that feel cozy, sweet, and sophisticated rather than bright and fresh. I think it's perfect to burn during the cooler weather or during the evenings when you want something comforting. I recommend this candle if you enjoy dark fruit fragrances with a smooth sweetness. On a 5-star rating, Snow White gets a 4 out of 5 stars. The fragrance is well done and took me by surprise. I liked it on cold and I'm enjoying it even more while lit. It's not too mature smelling while still having a level of sophistication and elegance. It isn't too perfumey. It's not a basic typical run-of-the-mill red apple scent. It's very well executed. As much as I'm enjoying the scent, I do feel that this candle has some quality control issues when it comes to the wicks. By now, a lot of you have this candle, so let me know how you're liking it, and I will catch you all in the next one.